Transparency is at issue this week as a 9 News report revealed that Colorado lawmakers conduct business through personal email accounts. According to the report, messages aren't archived and policies suggest that they be deleted after 30 days. Eric, after all the kerfuffle we've seen about personal email accounts and the Hillary Clinton issue, we saw people come together from both the right and the left criticizing what's going on. I'm not sure there's a whole lot of energy for change. Is this going to be enough to have any changes happen at Capitol Hill, or they're going to ignore it?
Well, I think Hillary Clinton is now moonlighting as an IT consultant and working with the Colorado legislature on their email systems, because they certainly seem to have adopted her logic. If it works for the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee, why shouldn't it work for a state representative for Walsenburg or a state senator from Craig, Colorado? If it's good enough for Hillary, it's certainly good enough here. This has become disturbingly the norm, both in Colorado and other states, for too many public officials, that you get a Gmail account or a Yahoo account or whatever your preferred provider is, and you can conduct business away from sunshine laws and away from archive requirements, and basically do private business when it's the public's business. I find it disturbing. I know we saw this a number of years ago with Governor Bill Ritter and his private account on top of his public state of Colorado account. I'll let David weigh in on this a bit, because I think there was some court litigation related to that, and maybe the governor on that one was upheld. I find it disturbing when Hillary Clinton is taking this approach. I find it disturbing when Colorado state legislators are taking this approach. Public requirements in terms of archives and scrutiny and transparency are there for a reason. They ought to be supported.
Todd, you are not only part of the 9 News report, but you and CompleteColorado.com have done some amazing work when it comes to sunshine laws, freedom of information. This is old territory for you. Get us up to date with folks maybe not have seen the report or the basic issue, and what's your take?
Well, I think the main thing here is this isn't a scandal in terms of these people aren't breaking the law. This is how it's always basically been set up for these members of the General Assembly. And it's not even that it's been hidden because that they've used a Todd Shepard at state.co address. Many of them, when you would go to the General Assembly website, you would see it would be Todd Shepard at Yahoo. I mean, they were open about the fact that they were using some alternate account. So it's always been this way. But does it support the highest level of transparency? Certainly it doesn't. And you know, this notion that the retention policy is 30 days. You know, again, I did some work with the Freedom of Information Coalition back in February, where we looked at state agencies. They've recently migrated to Google email. You would think that they would have enormous archiving capacities because of that, but in fact, that's the exact opposite. It's very difficult to retrieve emails that have been double deleted. The deletion policy is the same in terms of we recommend everything be thrown out after 30 days. So there are enormous improvements that can be made here. I don't think all of them have to be done legislatively. And I will say that it's in the very early stages, but I am working with, again, the Freedom of Information Coalition, along with partnering with Colorado Ethics Watch, and I think we'll be working with 9 News as well to see what changes we can make, again, without having to get involved in legislation or executive orders or mandates of any kind.
Patty, you lead another great investigative journalistic team at Westward. Is this a big deal? Do people need to be more upset about it?
Well, I think they need to be smarter about it at the legislature, and for the most part, anyone who really wants to leak something knows to do it on the telephone, and not be recorded, or just sneak the documents in. No one has any trouble doing that. So this is just, they're not thinking, because there are sneakier ways to do underhanded things. They just need to record these because that's what open records calls for.
David, what kind of changes do you think should happen?
That when you have a .state.co address, that it be the same as if you're a state employee. You know, if you work for the Department of Human Services, for example, I think that's just an address you have, rather than how it's being used now for the legislature only as sort of just a proxy for the Gmail account that's your own personal account. When you do the state business, you just have that on a state account. And kudos to Colorado Ethics Watch. As with the human services problems, this is, you know, they're a very left-wing group, but they're working with Todd on good government and transparency.